The Mekong Delta was 15,000 square miles of water with no roads. One hard surface highway ran from Saigon to Ca Mau. Everything else moved by river. And on those rivers, the Viet Cong had solved the geometry of killing Americans. The ambush doctrine was simple. Dig into the bank vegetation, 25 to 100 meters from the channel, wait for a pair of PBRs from Task Force 116 to pass in column formation, mid-channel, making 25 knots. Then open up with B-40 RPGs, recoilless rifles, and automatic weapons across a 150-meter arc of tree line. The PBR crews fired back with what they had. Twin 50 caliber machine guns forward, a single 50 aft. Bullets cut leaves. Bullets splintered bamboo. Bullets did not reach a fighter crouching in a spider hole behind an earthen berm 3 feet thick. 8th of March, 1967. Seaman David G. Ouellette, PBR 124, Task Force 116, somewhere in the Delta. A VC ambush tore into his boat. Wounded crewmates lay exposed on deck. Ouellette had no weapon that could suppress the tree line fast enough, so he used his body. He shielded his crew and absorbed the fire that was killing them. Posthumous Medal of Honor. What the Navy needed was not another machine gun. It needed fragmentation. Explosive force delivered fast, across a wide front, into positions that bullets could not reach. One M79 grenadier per crew was not the answer. One grenade every 4 to 6 seconds, out to 350 meters against a prepared ambush. That was a man loading a single-shot weapon while RPGs turned his fiberglass hull into shrapnel. The requirement was already on a desk in Louisville, Kentucky. It had been there since July of 1966. And the men building the answer were running out of time. In a red brick ordnance station on the Ohio River, Colonel George M. Chin, the Marine who had literally written the 5-volume Bureau of Ordnance treatise on the machine gun, led engineers Henry Watson and William Schnatter through a crash development program. Naval Ordnance Systems Command wanted 2 automatic grenade launchers, one for the existing low-velocity 40 by 46 millimeter round, one for the high-velocity 40 by 53 millimeter cartridge originally developed for helicopter gun systems. The high-velocity prototype was type-classified Gun 40 millimeter Mark 19 Mod 0. 3 working prototypes were ready by October 1967. On paper, the Mk-19 was the end of the riverbank ambush. 60 grenades per minute in rapid fire, each round detonating with a 5-meter kill radius and a 15-meter casualty radius. One trigger pull could deliver more fragmentation across a tree line in 3 seconds than an M79 Grenadier could manage in a full minute. Effective range, 1,500 meters. Maximum, 2,200. A PBR gunner could engage an ambush position from over a kilometer away, before the RPG teams could even range him. The cost was weight. 46 pounds of gun plus a 60-pound ammunition box on a single pintle mount, concentrated on a 31-foot fiberglass hull that had to maintain shallow draft trim. But the Mk-19 was not the only answer being rushed to the Delta. A hand-cranked belt-fed launcher called the Mk-18, built by Honeywell, 17 pounds, firing the low-velocity round, had been reaching PBRs since 1966. It was the last hand-cranked weapon in American service since the Gatling gun. And during the Tet Offensive in January and February of 1968, it proved the concept. PBRs of Task Force 116, mounting belt-fed grenade launchers amidships, defended Mekong Delta towns including Chow Dock and earned the Presidential Unit Citation. Automatic fragmentation worked. The hand-cranked Mk-18 was proving it on every patrol. The question was whether the Mk-19 could deliver that same answer faster, farther, and without a sailor turning a crank handle under fire. A chief gunner's mate named Bob Stoner would eventually get his hands on one of the first Mk-19s to reach the Mekong. What he did with it tells you everything about the weapon Vietnam actually received. That story is coming. First, what 40mm fragmentation could do when it worked. 2nd of August, 1969, the Upper Saigon River. Gunner's mate David Larson, PBR 775, River Division 593, Task Force 116. His boat was extracting a long-range reconnaissance patrol, a LRP team, that had walked into an estimated 50 Viet Cong along the riverbank. The team was in the water. Tracers were crossing above them. Larson stayed on the gun. He poured automatic grenade fire and 50 caliber rounds into the tree line while his coxswain brought the PBR alongside. 3 ambush team members were pulled from the river. 50 VC in prepared positions, and a single PBR gunner held them at bay long enough for the extraction to succeed. Navy Cross, Bronze Star, 2 Purple Hearts. The tactical logic was not about accuracy, it was about area. A 50 caliber round travels in a straight line. If it misses the fighter by 6 inches, the fighter is still shooting. A 40mm grenade detonates with a 5-meter kill radius. It does not need to hit the spider hole. It needs to land near the spider hole. Fragmentation reaches into positions that bullets pass over. That geometry, area versus line, was the entire reason the 40mm concept existed. Larson later said his goal was simply to stay alive and make it back to Kansas. He returned to Parsons, Kansas. But the weapon that was supposed to deliver that firepower better than anything else on the river, the Mk-19 Mod 0, was failing. 1970. The Kowloon River, deep in the Mekong Delta. Sea Float, a mobile advanced tactical support base built on barges anchored in the river. Chief Gunner's Mate Bob Stoner, Mobile Support Team Detachment Charlie, was supporting Navy SEALs out of Sea Float and its shoreside companion base, Solid Anchor. Stoner was always looking for more firepower for his medium SEAL support craft. He acquired a Mk-19 Mod 0. He loaded it. He linked the ammunition. He pulled the trigger. It jammed. All the ammo we had was linked incorrectly and it jammed. We didn't have a linker-delinker, so the Mk-19 went to storage in our Connex box. That is the defining Mk-19 moment of the Vietnam War. Not a devastating ambush broken, not a tree line shredded, a weapon shoved into a shipping container on the Kowloon River because it could not feed its own ammunition. The U.S. Army's own published assessment confirmed what Stoner already knew. The Mod 0 was neither reliable nor safe enough for use as a military weapon system. On Tango Boat T-131-1, somewhere in the Delta around 1969 or 70, a sailor named Larry Kennedy photographed a Mk-19 Mod 0 mounted on the midships pintle of his armored troop carrier. It is the only widely circulated wartime photograph of the Mk-19 in country. The gun is there. Whether it worked that day, nobody recorded. Kennedy left no surviving combat narrative. The guns that were actually doing the killing, the hand-cranked Mk-18s, the blow-forward Mk-20s, soldiered on. The assault support patrol boats of River Division 57, the first riverine craft routinely fitted with paired grenade machine guns, were the platforms where 40mm automatic fire matured into doctrine, not with the Mk-19, with its simpler, uglier, more reliable cousins. The redemption came late. 1972. 6 product-improved Mk-19 Mod 1 units, redesigned feed tray, new spade grips, reduced length, deployed to Mekong patrol craft. For the first time, the designation Mark 19 meant a weapon that actually performed. Those 6 guns led to roughly 1,000 Mod 1 production units, but by 1972, Vietnamization had transferred most rivercraft to the South Vietnamese Navy. The weapon that was supposed to save brownwater Navy crews arrived after the brownwater Navy was leaving. The Viet Cong never wrote down what they called the 40mm grenade launchers that were shredding their riverbank positions. No captured document translation naming the Mark 19 has surfaced in the open record, but the physical evidence sits in glass cases. Captured Mark 18 and Mark 19 launchers on display at the War Remnants Museum in Ho Chi Minh City and the People's Army Museum in Hanoi. They captured these weapons. They studied them. And the behavioral evidence is harder to argue with than any quote. From 1967 onward, VC ambush tactics shifted. Night attacks increased. Sampans were built with false bottoms. Contraband moved by foot through canal tributaries too narrow for a PBR to follow. You do not restructure an entire logistics network because of a weapon you do not respect. The 40 by 53mm round itself created problems the Navy never fully solved in Vietnam. It was not interchangeable with the M79's 40 by 46mm cartridge, meaning split supply chains on small boats with almost no stowage. And the Mod 0's high cyclic rate consumed ammunition faster than a 31-foot boat could carry it. Impressive volume of fire, until the belt ran dry 60 seconds later. In 1976, a ground-up redesign produced the Mark 19 Mod 3, the weapon the Mekong had needed a decade earlier. Type classified by the Navy in 1981, adopted by the Marines in 82, the Army in 83. Nearly 35,000 built, 30 countries. Mounted on every Humvee, every Striker, every patrol boat in every American conflict since Desert Storm. Still in service 58 years after Bob Stoner's Mod Zero jammed on the Kowloon River. Some weapons earned their reputation in the war they were built for. The Mark 19 earned it in every war after.